What's up, everybody? This video is about setting up a social media scheduler that's completely free. So you can connect basically infinite numbers of channels and you can schedule all your posts and it's free. Does that sound too good to be true? Well, it's not, because it's actually true. And so that's what I'm here to tell you guys about. And this particular video, I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to approach it, so I'm just going to try to give you as much information as I would have thought would be useful to me before I actually accomplished it. So what this is, it's an app called Postiz, and it's Postiz. And it's the only caveat is that it's a little bit complex to actually set it up. And so what you have to do is install what's called a self-hosted version on your own computer. And so your own computer has to act as a server, which means in order for this to work, you will have to have a computer that always stays on and always stays accessible. And so part of what this video is about is setting your computer up to never go to sleep. Now, I've done this on a Mac, and there's a command that's Shift Control Eject that will put all your monitors to sleep. It'll turn all your displays off, but it won't set the computer to sleep. And so then you just have to set the computer itself to never go to sleep. And then your computer will always run on, but you don't have to wear out the displays. So that's pretty easy to do and easy to set up. It's, I think, a couple of different settings that you could just Google about where they are on a Mac OS. But yes, this is specifically, I've set this up on my Mac, on my iMac. And part of what I've done to do this is actually install the latest operating system of Mac OS. My computer's a 2017, and so the operating systems wouldn't update anymore, which I just recently found out. They haven't been updating for a while. I guess Apple does that to try to get you to buy new computers, or supposedly because the software or operating systems might not work on the outdated hardware and cause your computer to crash. But I think to some extent that's a happy excuse to get people to buy new computers that otherwise don't need to. So I was able to actually do a workaround to install the latest operating system of Mac OS, and that wasn't too complex either. So I think I'll make a video on that. Now, I've used AI to do all of this, and this is maybe one of the most incredible uses of AI that I've found is the programming aspect of it. You can troubleshoot your own programs. You can get the AI to write you programs and write you code, and then you can troubleshoot that code using the AI. And so you can actually code and you can write functional programs by doing a lot of copying and pasting. And so you copy and paste error messages and all that stuff into AI. And so I used Grok and I used ChatGPT, and to me, it was quite simple because I don't really need to understand any of it. All I have to do is copy and paste the error messages and the different coding and then just do whatever the AI tells me to do until it works. And I will say that sometimes I've tried installing, another thing that I've tried to accomplish is installing a video clipping editor that automates like Opus clips. If you're familiar with Opus clips, something that takes like a long form video and clips it up into vertical format with subtitling automatically for you, and kind of tries to find the best moments and just sort that all out for you, because it takes a long time to go through hours and hours and hours, like hundreds of hours of videos. It takes an insane amount of time. So that I was unsuccessful with, but I tried installing 3 different applications using, or softwares using or programs, I guess you would say, using the AI to do it. And these installations they're done through the shell or the terminal, which is, I guess, what would you call it? Well, it's an application on Mac OS, but it's like the most basic kind of communication that you have with your computer. So if anybody's ever opened up Terminal, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't opened up Terminal and then you open it up, you might be scared of it because it just looks like you won't know anything of what to do, because it's all like text-based commands that you have to type in, and everything's text-based. It's not user-friendly like you click and understand on a visual basis. You have to, in order to navigate in the terminal, you have to know like the basics of computers, and you have to know computer language and all that kind of stuff. So, however, you don't need to know that anymore because of AI, and AI understands it all, and you can just ask the AI what you need to do, and it will give you the codes. And so, like I was saying, when I tried to do the installation for kind of a Opus Clips alternatives, of which I found 3, which were Supo Clips and Vinci Clips and Clips AI. I wasn't able to successfully install any of those. I ran into problems, and then the AI would kind of just loop me through doing the same problems over and over again. So the AI is not foolproof by any stretch, but with regards to what this video is about, it worked for me perfectly, and maybe with a few glitches that need to be solved along the way, but it was pretty straightforward, and I was able to accomplish it. And so, like I said, the application is called Postiz, and you could use the AI to research it, and then the AI will guide you through all the installation. But I want to show you what it ends up looking like, and so we're going to switch here to this. So you could see here, and I'm going to drag this to be bigger. I had to install my computer to the latest operating system and find that workaround because you have to install an application called Docker. And Docker, you just install like any other typical application that you would install. You download the .dmg file and you install Docker. And Docker looks like this. But it's just necessary for some of these open source softwares that are installed through the terminal. Docker is needed to run these things. And I don't know exactly why, but I do know that I needed it, and when I installed it, that's part of what allowed this to be functional. So you could look at this, and I've got all my social medias here, and you can host it at your own domain so that I can access this if I go to my domain here with the subdomain, with the correct subdomain. It will load this page. And so I can schedule my social media from anywhere, from my own subdomain that I've created, because this software is actually on my computer that's in front of me that I'm recording this on. And so it's actually at a local domain. It's at https local colon like 3000 or something like that. But because my computer is now a server, I can access that local domain from anywhere, and so I've created this domain to point to that local domain. Now, I understand all this kind of sounds complex. There's like many different steps that were involved to accomplish this, but I promise you, I think it's something that anybody can do using the AI. And so I just want to show you the functionality here of the Postiz. So I can create a post, and it pops up like this, and then I can select any of these different social media accounts that I've created. And then you just type in, so if I want to select my Facebook page, it won't go to a personal Facebook page. That's one caveat. But the amount of platforms that it can go to is, I don't think you need more. I mean, maybe some people might, but I'll show it in just a second. But if I type a post in, this is my post. My post, you can see it there over here where it shows a preview of it. I can insert the media. I just did a Christmas one recently, so it shows it there. You can add a comment to it, so I can add another thing where I say this is my comment, and I could even insert media to that. You know, certain social medias, they don't allow comments with images, but if I wanted to put a comment with an image, I'd do that. And so as this would post to Facebook, it would post this picture as my post, and then it would subsequently post this as a comment and the image along with it. And then if I want to schedule it to a certain time, I can schedule it here. I can choose the date, all that. I can choose to repost every certain amount of time, or otherwise I just choose repeat post every whatever, and then it will only post once. So I can select whatever that is. I can select the time, and then I would save, and that would schedule it. Or I can post now, or I can save it as a draft. I don't know that the saving as a draft works for me because it's a self-hosted version, but I haven't tried it, so I'll have to try that. But that's how the posts work, and you can select however many different ones you want. And then you could come in here and edit individual ones, whichever ones you selected. So Twitter can't post the images Instagram can't post the images as a comment. And Twitter functions a little bit different, or X functions a little differently, where it posts this as a reply. It posts the comment as a reply. But that's some of the, rather than on the actual post, that's some of the functionality of it. And I can close it. So, and it works. I've tested it all out. It's posting. I can access my server at any time from anywhere. So I can schedule from my iPad. If I'm out of town, I can edit my schedules. I can edit all these posts. You can see the different posts here. Today, I had one that went out earlier this morning. And then I could look at my month view. And so you could see that there's different posts scheduled. I just set this up, so I've yet to really fully fill out the schedule. But I've got another one scheduled to post on the 29th. And then if I want to add a channel, it looks like this. So you can see all the different social medias that you can connect to. So this is extremely functional, and it kind of gives you everything you need. Now, a caveat with the connecting the channels, once you have it set up, is that the channels have to be connected using APIs. And so you have to create API codes for each social media network. But this really isn't that difficult. It's not as difficult as it sounds. It's a little bit time consuming, but really not that bad. Some of them, it can take like 5 minutes. But you basically create developer accounts or go to a developer page within that network. Now, I wasn't able to do it for TikTok because TikTok doesn't allow you to make personal apps for TikTok. They have to be public apps that are meant for the use of their users, not for your own personal use. So they wouldn't let me set this up. I couldn't create automatic publishing for myself through TikTok, although obviously it is possible because other online apps do it, like Opus Clips can publish to TikTok, but they wouldn't approve my app. But I was able to successfully get it set up to X, to LinkedIn, to Instagram, to Facebook, to YouTube, and to Google My Business. And I think those are basically the only ones I tried. I tried Threads as well. I was not able to successfully get it to Threads, but all the rest of those worked for me. And so, where do we want to go from here? So I've shown you how it works. I've shown you how it schedules. You can even look at analytics, although I don't know how effective these are. I don't think there's a lot here. But I've set up I'll show you something else actually. I've set up, and I think this is going to work. I think it's this. And never mind. Okay, I'm not going to show you that. I could show that in a different video, but one of the limitations of this is that it doesn't. There's no way to monitor the posts or monitor the messages. Like there's not an inbox that contains all of that, a consolidated inbox for all the posts and all the comments of these. You have to monitor those by actually going on the platforms or some other way. But I found through a website called Vista Social that had a unified inbox. And it's not been perfectly effective for me, but I believe it's free. I'm still on the the trial, so I'll have to see when it's done if I still have access to that. But I think that part, the unified inbox, is free, and you can connect all your channels and see all that. And it has some analytics, and I think all that's free. And I think the part that you have to pay for is the scheduling. And so, since I can do all my scheduling through that, it's completely unnecessary. So I can upload my media here. So that's, I could have tons of different media that's just available and ready for me to post from anywhere. So I can put all my best pictures here. And then there's other stuff that I haven't even looked into with the plugs and integrations. But in the basic functionality, it's awesome. And so one of the things that you'll have to do is, like here, I have to go to Noah Grove Music, and then I'll change the directory. If you can see this, I'll change the directory to postiz. So now I'm in the folder of postiz, and now I'm going to do a different thing where I say nano, and we're going to do docker compose.yml. This is one of the main documents that all this goes off of. And so one of the things in order to get your API keys to work is that you have to get all these keys. So you can see I have an X API key, I have an X API secret, I have a Facebook app API ID, I have a Facebook app secret, a Facebook redirect URL, YouTube, all the social medias that I'm connected to. I had to create social media keys for all those things, and then put them into this this document. So nano is just a code that opens that file so you can view it and edit it. You could also just do open and that. But like I said, the AI can guide you through all this. And if I were making a video, so I'm going to exit out of this by hitting Control X. If I were to make a video of going through everything that I did with the AI and every step of what you do with each platform and all that stuff, it'd be way too long. So I'm basically going to call it here because I really just wanted this video to show you what's possible and show you a little bit about what's involved. And then let you know that if you want to have a social media scheduler that's free and functional, it's possible and you can do it. And you can do it with using Grok and ChatGPT. And I like to use both of them because sometimes you get different responses from the different ones. And so if one gets a little bit stuck, you can put the same information into the other, and you might get the answer you're looking for. But for the most part, I relied on Grok, and I was very successful with this installation of postiz, almost entirely just using Grok. And so, again, believe me or not, it's not as difficult as you might think, and you can really just rely on the AI. And if you know how to press Command-C and Command-V to copy-paste, you can do this installation. Just follow the instructions that the AI gives you, copy and paste the commands. It gives you everything. And then you go into the documents and add those API keys. And so I just want to encourage you that you can do it and basically just tell you guys about this. So if it's something, if a social media scheduler is something you're looking for, that's really the main purpose of this video. And so, because the AI will tell you how to do it, so you don't really need a guide from me. I mean, I could show you a video where I just ask all the things to AI and copy and paste to AI, but it's just completely unnecessary because if you just get started with it, you'll see that it's not hard and you're going to be able to pull it off. It's going to take a little bit of time. Like I'd say probably this is like a 2 to 3 hour project, but you can do it. It might take you a little bit longer than that. Maybe it's a project that you accomplish in a day. But that's totally worth it because otherwise you're paying one of these social media. If I were to pay a social media application, what it would cost to have this number of social media accounts connected, I mean, you're talking about a large amount of money every year. Like, it's definitely over 1,000. And I think it's probably significantly more than that. But it's a lot. And it's money that just keeps going out every month, and it's just completely unnecessary. And then you got to find one that you really like. And for me, I think this functionality is perfect. It's very straightforward. It's intuitive. You can go to postiz.com, I think, and pay a monthly fee to use Postiz, like a version that's hosted by them, like many other social media apps online. Or they allow you to use the open source self-hosted one completely free. So I hope this video is useful to you, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer questions in the comment section. Thanks for checking out the video. See you in the next one.